How happy Wednesday. Guys, I love spending my Wednesdays with you. So we're ready for the HDK download. And this week's topic of conversation is managing distractions. And in the description, I kind of was chuckling at myself because I was like, well, there's avoidable distractions and unavoidable distractions. And both, one we have control over, and we'll talk about that, and one we don't. And so all we have control over is how we're going to manage them. So that's what we're doing today. Give me a shout out in the comment section. Tell me you're here, where you are listening and watching from, and maybe like what's your year goal, and maybe even what your distraction you think what your distractions are. I think that is also really funny. Sometimes that what we think our distractions are not. And then out of left field, we're like, oh my gosh, that's a major distraction for me. I will never forget the leadership conference that I was at. And the speaker was talking about like how what are your distractions? And I was like, distractions, huh? And I was like sitting there thinking about distractions. Well, my husband was with me. Never let your husbands go to leadership conference. Just kidding. He always goes. But he looked at me and he goes, your dogs? And I was like, how could my dogs be a distraction? I love them. They are literally my entire life. It's very, very sad how much they are. They are every waking decision of my life. They're 15 and 16. So they really do. They require me to think about them every single second of every single day. But that is a distraction for me massively. It's also unavoidable. I'm not going to have them not be a distraction for me. All I can do is manage it. So, and that was like 10 years ago, and it's even worse now. So, hi guys. Hi, Linda. Hi, Christine. I'm so excited that you guys are here with me today. So give me a shout out on your goals for the year. If you have not watched my personal goal attached to a business goal training, I would highly recommend it. Even if you already set your goal, you can cement it even more and even better when you're attached to what it's going to do for your life and what it's going to do for your family. So make sure you watch that. So give me your goal. And then also, if you happen to know what your distraction are, and here's the thing, kids are a distraction. It doesn't mean that you're going to go get rid of them. It doesn't mean that they're unwanted. It just means that you have to learn how to manage through all of that. My husband is a major distraction for me. I'm not getting rid of him. I love him. He's my favorite person in the entire world. He's a distraction for me. He makes me not want to, well, sometimes he makes me want to work harder. And then sometimes he makes me want to go to brunch or dinner, as we call it around here. When you go to bed at 8 o'clock at night, most people's lunch is like our dinner, like 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We can eat dinner fairly effectively at that time. He's a distraction because he's fun. So give me a shout out on that. Okay, I got to put glasses on today. Oh my gosh, I've got to clean them. Hold on. Are you ready to how to deal with distractions? I've got 3 things for you today to really dig into how to manage these distractions. The first one that I'm going to say is because sometimes the distractions are our way of escaping or our way of checking the easy thing off the box. So like even things in your business can be a massive distraction for you because they don't make you any money, but you're working. So you feel like you're working, except you're not getting paid like you're working. And so if you didn't watch my training from last week about the part 1 about time management, go back and hit that one. They're all in this podcast playlist. So you're welcome to find all of them. But we have to label things properly. Like, is this a business building activity? Does this fall in multiplication or addition? Or am I just getting the easy points off of escaping or saying I'm working, but I'm not? Or making myself feel better, making myself feel important, making myself feel like, I hear a lot, like, I'm doing all the work, Heather, but it's not working. Literally not possible. Literally. And I'm just going to crush your all's dreams. If you've said it lately, it's not possible. Now, it is entirely possible that it's not working in a timeline that you want to work in. That's probable actually, but it's not possible for you to do the proper work with the quality and the quantity that we've talked about before and it not work. So if that is entirely not possible, then you have to look back at, okay, what am I doing? Is it in multiplication or addition, or is it in subtraction and division? Because there are some business activities down there that maybe you wouldn't think of. Maybe you see a lot of other people spending their time doing that way, and so you're like, well, I'll do it that way. No, ma'am. Listen to me. Listen to me doing this, because that I want you to focus. I'm hyper efficient, and I want you to win, and I don't want to play small. So booking time to listen and watch these trainings. Yay, yay, yay. Okay. So identifying them, mislabeling your activities that are on your to-do list, that's on your calendar, that's set for the day, because that right there, you have to set, you got to go back to that time management training. You have to set your intentional time for the day. Unintentional time is in division. When you go willy-nilly with your week, when you go haphazard, when you just fly by the seat of your pants, that is a great way for you to lose steam. You're not going to gain anything. You're not even going to maintain it. You're going to lose steam if you do not intentionally focus and I'm not somebody that goes and plans every single minute of the day. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about intentionally planning the time that you're working your business and doing it and nailing it and getting it done. So I'm hyper efficient. So my list of things to do, I know what is in my multiplication and addition. And if I have subtraction, if I have to do some of those things, because sometimes I do, and sometimes you do too, I have to label them appropriately. I know, so I did some of my own graphics the other day for my team for social media. That, my friend, is in subtraction. And it's not in my gifting, so it's probably in division. I don't want to do them, but I didn't want to pay somebody to do them, and I knew that I could do it, but I didn't do it during my work time. I did it while my husband was making dinner on Friday night, and he gave me a margarita. So that's what I did with my time. That's called sweat equity. That's where you put your subtraction and division time, is not in your work time. You do not get to do that because you're going to lose money and you're going to lose momentum. You get to put it in your sweat equity time. I've got times in my calendar that I know if I don't get it done during other pockets of the day, because I was doing the right stuff, then I got to put my sweat equity into those times. So just so you know, you're going to have the same situation. So let's take social media, for example, when you're labeling things. I'm doing my social media for my business. Okay. I love to use my fingers, right? You're doing social media. What are you doing on social media? Are you scrolling to find inspiration? Because that's in subtraction and division. Are you taking a course, listening to a podcast, getting better, learning right here with me? Like this right here. This could be multiplication if you act on it. This could be addition if you slowly sort of put it into your repertoire and you start tweaking maybe 6 months from now. That could be addition. Subtraction is if you're just listening to me and maybe multitasking. And then division is if you listen to me, called it a training, called it working your business, and do nothing with it. It's division. It does not make you better knowing things, but not doing things. I am a doer. And that's what I want you to learn from me so much in this HDK download it's not about knowing everything. My word, I would not be successful if it's about knowing everything, but I'm a doer. And so I just get to crash through so many obstacles because I'm doing, I'm not learning, thinking. I mean, I do some of those things, but I'm more of a doer. I'll just figure it out when I get out there. And so I want you to grab a little bit of that to get better at that. So if you're on social media, so I just adjusted a video and posted it, literally right before I hit record or go live on YouTube. It took me maybe 5 minutes or so to record my video on how I make egg cups in the morning for my prepping for my week for food. And so creating content is a multiplication item for me. So that, because it increases my traffic on my social media, it increases my comments and my engagement, and through all of that, I will sell more product and recruit new people because I am consistent. So if I'm creating content, that is a multiplication for me. But if I am scrolling to find somebody to talk to, no, ma'am. Division, division, division. Because then what happens is not only are you wasting time, but now you're comparing. And when we talked about last week, comparing yourself is in division because it puts you into downward facing spiral very, very quickly. If I was on social media scrolling, I'm going to find 30 people that are better at something than I am. And it doesn't even matter if I want to be better at it or not. But just knowing that they are better at it, that they can make a better egg cup than I can, or they have cuter kids than I do, or their dogs are more well-behaved. Everybody's dogs are more well-behaved than mine. If I sat there thinking about that, then I'm going to go into a spiral, and I can't afford the time loss, but more importantly, the energy loss of that, and neither can you. So what are you doing on social media is where that gets a label at. Okay. So that's how that if you're going to be on social media and you just want to scroll, I watch stupid cat reels all the time. But they're in sweat equity time. So I don't have to worry about labeling them because I'm wasting time. And I know I'm wasting time. But if I'm doing it during my work time, that's a major distraction that's going to put me into the loony bin because I think I'm working my Mary Kay because I'm trying to find somebody to talk to, except all I did was compare myself or laugh at stupid cat reels or, bare minimum, you just wasted time doing that. Okay. So identify your things. Me identifying the fact that my dogs are a distraction for me was actually super helpful because I managed my time accordingly. So I started out, I'll go into tip number 2. I inserted my distractions into my non-peak energy time. Okay. So 2 stories about how I rearranged my schedule in order to handle my distractions. First of them is my dogs. I keep pointing back there because they're asleep. Always. They're always by me. Always. They're in the bathroom, in the kitchen, always touching my legs while they're asleep in their little beds behind me. But they're 15 and 16. So they have Loxley has a heart specialist. Freddie has a dental specialist. They go to the vet all the time. They go to the groomers. They go to what else? Then there's Dorothy. Please don't even get me started on Dorothy. Dorothy's a little obese right now. It's because her mom feeds her squeezy meat, but that is something else. So we're at the vet all the time. Like a couple weeks ago, was it right before seminar? I was at the vet 3 times that week. And some of them are an hour away from me. Most of them are at least 30 minutes away from me. Oh, Freddie goes to the chiropractor. I knew we went to something else. So they're a major distraction. Well, I would just take first appointment, right? Get me in on 9:00 on Monday morning. I'll take Freddie in to get his teeth cleaned or teeth looked at or whatever that is. That's my major work time. That's my major energy time. By the time I get home from the gym about 7 a.m. and between 7 and 2, I'm like a beast. I am a beast. This is my pure energy time is between 7 and 2. Now, if I make a dental appointment for my dog at 9 a.m. on a Monday, I have not only killed from 9 to 10 where the appointment is, but now I've killed an hour either way. So now I'm 3 hours out of my precious 7-hour window. That is hugely detrimental to the flow of my business, to my energy level, and to my time. So when do I make a dental appointment? 3:30 on Monday afternoon. I'm peaced out by that point. I don't work evenings very rarely. Sometimes I do. Very rarely do I work evenings, and it's usually from my phone. I worked on Monday night, but I had no makeup on and my hair up because I do a walk time. I sit outside by the pool in the afternoon. I water the plants. I do work time, I help with the lawn, all those things. So I don't want to work during that time, but that's a great place for me to put a distraction point in there. So if you've identified a distraction, put it in a non-peak energy time. Saturday mornings is kind of my my training for my meeting is at 8 a.m. on Saturday mornings. From 9 to noon is like all the stuff that I didn't get done. I know I'm not going to get paid for. So it's kind of my lump sweat equity time. So if I am making a delivery, which I very rarely do, but I will do it there, or I need to go to the post office, or I need to take the dog to the vet, or I need to manage my inventory. That does not need to be on peak energy time. So much of those things get to go on Saturday morning because that's kind of my catch-all. And the great thing about that is I've labeled that time. So I know I don't have to freak out about the fact that there's 2 boxes of inventory sitting right next to me, because there are. I don't have to worry about it. It doesn't freak me out. It doesn't bother me at all, because I know that that's Saturday morning job. But if you don't put it at a specific time, it will start to consume you. When am I going to clean the kitchen? When am I going to clean the kitchen? And if you work from home, that requires a very high level of discipline to not do the laundry, to not do the dishes, to not pick up things. I pick it up after I'm done working. Those things do not happen during my non-peak energy time. My other thing is the gym, because before I got my schedule under control, I was the queen of willy-nilly. I was the queen of just letting things, I'll do whatever I want. I'll sleep whenever I want. I'll get up whenever I want. Because when you work from home, like that's kind of a perk, right? Well, I out perked myself, like I was sleeping till 6:30, and then I'd get up and I'd go to the gym. Maybe I'd get there by 7. I'd work out for an hour and a half. That's 8:30. I'm home by 9. I need to take a shower and get cute. Not every day, but some days. Then that puts me in front of my desk at like 10. If I do social media stuff, 10:30 in front of the desk. Did I tell you about my peak energy time between 7 and 2? Now I'm 10:30, 11. I have just given away 3 minimum, maybe 4 hours of my high peak energy time to the gym. The elliptic machine does not care if I'm on point. They get 5:00 a.m. time. They don't get 7 a.m. time. So it's a distraction. It's a necessary distraction. I will work out at least once every single day. That is part of my life. That is what I do. My habit is very clear. It is not a negotiation. I at least work out once every day, sometimes twice a day. But those cannot go in my peak energy time. I do not take a walk at noon out there. No way. No way, Jose. That goes later when I need a little boost of energy. Walking outside is like the greatest for that. It just resets me, and I've already gotten all of my work done. I don't have to feel guilty about it. I don't have to, I didn't deserve it. I didn't earn that. Or now I feel guilty because I'm working out again. No, 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 no. You don't have to do that, because you've identified it. You've put it in your specific times, and that's the beautiful thing about having a schedule. And I am the most unstructured person in every single personality test. There's like people who require structure at like 100. I'm a 2. I do not require structure because I'm intrinsically very go-getter. Like I will, get the job done. But when I gave myself a little bit of boundaries, it really helped. Like I do this during this time and this during this time. I don't have to micromanage myself. I don't have to like, okay, Heather, now between 12 and 12:30, you're going to make 10 booking calls. As long as I make 10 booking calls by 2:00 when I'm done working, I'm groovy. I can do it at the beginning. I can do it at the end. I know I'm not going to let myself off the hook, and you have to not let yourself off the hook. We talked about that last week. You have to learn how to get yourself to do stuff. It is the number one key of being self-employed. And being like fitness and health minded. You have to control what you eat. You have to control how you move your body. You have to learn how to get yourself to do things that you don't necessarily want to do. I always have TV on in my house. I think a lot of it is for the dogs so they can't hear anymore. But when they could, they would just, like the wind would blow and they would start barking. Well, now it's just a habit that there's something always going on. So right now I'm watching Biggest Loser Australia. So it's just on. I don't watch it, but I love having something positive just kind of in my brain. Well, what he said, the heaviest contestant is is in this season. I don't know. I think it's like 2013 is what I'm watching. Um, and he said, this guy is just, he's going to struggle so much these first couple weeks because he doesn't know how to be uncomfortable. When he wants something to eat, he eats it. He eats as much as he wants, whenever he wants to. He drinks whatever he wants, whenever he wants to. He sits down when he's tired. He goes to sleep when he's tired. He has no idea what it feels like to be physically uncomfortable. And I thought, that is so good. Like, I never thought of getting up in the morning as being uncomfortable, or going to the gym as being uncomfortable, because it's just what I do. But until you've created that habit, you're going to be uncomfortable. Until you've created the habit of the kind of IPA work in this business that produces the goals you want, you're going to be uncomfortable. And that, I thought that's pretty smart. You need to know that. You need to know, shoot, this is going to be uncomfortable. Okay. But if you tell yourself a lie, oh, I can do this, it's going to be easy. Yeah, sometimes, but you're probably still going to be uncomfortable before it gets easy, right? So tell yourself the truth. Yeah, it's going to be uncomfortable to do something this year that you've never done before. Like, I haven't seen a lot of my goals. Give me some goals here, guys. But if it's something you've never done before, it's going to be uncomfortable because you're going to have to change your level of discipline, but you're also going to probably change your schedule. New level, new schedule, babe. Every single time. And that doesn't make it worse. I actually think my schedule is better now than it used to be because I work shorter amount of time, I think, than I used to, but it's more compact with great things. And you get the amplification of technology. So I don't have to work as many hours. Like, I have 4 parties this week. Get some. New level, new schedule, right? I got to be in front of people. I got 4 parties this week, but they're all messenger parties and they're all from my phone. And I get to do it while Frank watches Jack Reacher or whatever he's going to watch tomorrow night. I think he got The Patriot out. So that's probably what he's going to watch. And I'm going to do my messenger parties because I have one at 6:30 and one at 7:30. So I'm going to be on the phone for an hour and a half, something like that, on my phone, sitting on the couch with the dogs and the cat. Guys, this is a great life. This is a great life, but you can't outgrate life it out of business, if that makes sense. You can't just, I get to do whatever I want. I work for myself. I can do whatever I want whenever. Nah, you work for yourself, which means you don't get to do whatever you want. You get to do what you tell yourself that you're going to do. That's a very, very different game. Okay, I went on a rant and I apologize for that. Here's my last one. Here's my last tip is plan your reactive time versus your prayer time or your proactive time. Reactive versus proactive. One thing that a couple of years ago is during COVID, there were some hard years for me. Hard in my business, hard for me physically, hard. Just hard for lots of reasons. Well, 2001 was especially extremely difficult in my business. And so I had gotten into a group of people that all they did was complain. And all they did was be frustrated. And they like to verbally tell me about all of these frustrations every single second of every single day. Well, when you go to sleep at 8 p.m., when do most people start complaining? I find that it's after 8 p.m. So I would wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I would check my phone and I would have all of these messages about people that were struggling. Well, for me, I tend to take on all of that. A, because I want to fix it because I'm the leader, but B, like, I don't want people to be miserable and unhappy. Like, that does not sit well in any case. I want to solve everybody's problems, like, because I think I can. Like, that's what I want to do. So I would start my day in just a fit of sadness and loss of control and hopelessness. And when I feel out of control, probably similar to you, is not a good feeling. It does not make me feel powerful. It makes me feel like I should just go to bed and eat bonbons. Well, every day I started that way for a couple months. And I almost quit my business, not quit Mary Kay, because that's drama. I've never ever wanted to quit Mary Kay, but like quit what I was doing, quit the goal that I was going for, quit trying to help people. That's bad. Like, I didn't want to people anymore. I was so burnt out with it. And so, you know what I did? It was a lot of prayer time. One day I was walking and I just was like, Lord, I'm done. Like, I can't start my day this way. And he just revealed to me that I'm starting in a way being reactive versus proactive. So now, and this has been what, 4, 5 years later, I do my devotional on my phone. The first thing when I wake up in the morning, I'm drinking my caffeine and I'm doing my devotional. Then I do my prayer time. And then if I get to it, I will get on social media and check messages or my text messages or things like that. I'm planning my proactive time so that when I get to my reactive time, I'm better. I'm more complete. I'm more centered. I'm happier. I'm fulfilled. Like I'm grounded in my day because I switched my proactive versus reactive time. And that's like my big number one story, but there's so many things that you can do that. Like why would you grab your phone to start scrolling and see what you missed if your day said I need to do 10 booking calls, 10 follow-up calls, and I need to pre-profile for my party on Thursday. And then you start scrolling your Facebook. I promise about 10 minutes of scrolling, that was your time allotment. You could have gotten that entire list done, or now you just feel deflated and now your energy is lower and you're like, oh, well, I don't guess I don't want to do that right now. I'll do that later. Or, yeah, I'm not feeling it. Oh man, I ran out of time. Now I got to go. Whatever. You just took your proactive allotment of time and you put it to reactive, and you completely wasted all that energy and all of that time. Okay, another tip in this section is turn off your notifications. No more, like you can see my notifications there, but but my phone is on its tummy and it's sitting by my desk. I don't see any notifications. There's no dinging. The phone does not ring out loud, which is terrible when you lose your phone, by the way, but oh well. No notifications, no anywhere, not anywhere, not anywhere. Now, if you've got kids and a husband that need you and things like that, or an elderly parent or something like that, you can actually train your notifications that you could only get notified by certain people. And you can absolutely do that, or at least turn off your social media notifications and your Voxer notifications. Now, here's the thing. I never have notifications on, but I don't get behind on my communication. I don't get behind on, or if I look like I'm behind, I'm really not, because it's scheduled for something else. Like I get a lot of dialogue coming in off Facebook specifically. Well, a lot of that time is not business building for me. So that is a reactive conversation, not a proactive conversation. So I put that in a box, and that's like, okay, I'll do that Thursday afternoon, and I'll respond to, I call my go give messages. I can't respond like immediately because I'm in momentum. That every time you break momentum and every time you break focus from work time, it takes you 30 minutes to refocus again. I don't know about you, but I have trouble focusing the first time. I certainly have no 30 minutes to get refocused. That's going to take that. No, we're not going to do that. So I'm going to set myself up for success to shut it all down. And then when I'm done with my work time, then I will go through my Voxer, I'll go through my Instagram, I'll go through my TikTok, I'll go through my Facebook, I'll go through my text messages, I'll go through my project broadcast. Like I will do my little round of communication that's always full. I don't have to get worried about it. It's always full. It's fine. There's no such thing as a foundation emergency. Repeat after me. There's no such thing as a foundation emergency. Nobody needs you to comment and reply back immediately. It's just not required. So give yourself grace and also stop feeling obligated to do that we don't need to do that. Okay. So block time for your reactive conversations. And here's another one. So when I taught this to directors at seminar, you should have heard the uproar about this. This was so funny to me. I do not take, well, first of all, my notifications are off, so I can't hear it. I do not take unplanned and unscheduled phone calls. If you call me, I'm going to think it's an emergency and somebody's dead. So don't call me, but don't call me. You can text me and say, is there a good time for us to connect? I do not call me because I won't answer. because that takes me 30 minutes to refocus. Now, my husband sometimes, but sometimes I'll send him to voicemail. I'm rolling. I cannot. I'll call him later. I'll call him later. He doesn't need anything right now. And if he does, he knows he can text me, because then I can see that one and I can decide if it's worth breaking my focus for. That may sound harsh, but it's not. It's not harsh, guys. You cannot take every single phone call. And here's, so I don't know if you do this. So tell me if you don't have to tell me if you do this, but you'll know. You take unscheduled or scheduled phone calls from your Mary Kay power partner, your bestie, and you talk for an hour. Something about work gets mentioned in there. It's not really what I would consider a business building conversation. Correct? No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Can you talk to your bestie? Absolutely. In non-energy peak times or when you're driving. I do a lot of that. If I know that I need to talk on the phone to somebody, hey, I've got 30 minutes in the car, usually to the vet. I will call you there. Then I can stack things on top of each other. Or when I'm walking. I did an hour coaching call the other day with one of my consultants who was really frustrated. I'm like, hey, you got 9:30 on Tuesday morning? Because I need to walk because something happened and I had to move my non-peak time. And so I would rearrange my schedule a little bit. And I was like, yeah, but I could put that in there and then I'll move that there and then I can double dip. Stack those things together. Sitting at your office at noon talking to your bestie. Because you, generally speaking, do not need your bestie to talk you off a cliff. You need to actually do something and work, because movement is medicine. And the answer to anything that is got you frustrated or stuck or spinning or spiraling is booking a party or coaching a party or pre-profiling a party or booking a facial, coaching a facial, pre-profiling a facial, recruiting someone, following up. Like, yeah, the basics of our business will get you out of anything that you are stuck from. You don't necessarily need a conversation about it. Okay. Okay. My last thing that I will say is, because we're hitting a little over 30 minutes here, is sometimes you need a new system for things. And so many times in my business, I still have to catch myself, because I still have a tendency to do this. I don't like chaos. I don't like things. I don't like spontaneous surprises. I kind of like what I like, and I like to be in control over it. So I don't love chaos, but sometimes you don't know the system that you need until you go to chaos. I didn't know how to do 4 messenger parties in a week until I did 4 messenger parties in a week. The first time I did it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is absolutely nuts. Like, I was having all these conversations back and forth, and I was not structuring anything, and it was like mass chaos. And then I wasn't tracking things properly. And then I was losing things, and I didn't know who was getting what. And it was a disaster. And then I figured out how to do it. So, like, this is my system for tracking my parties. It's not that difficult. It's a spiral with names and addresses and skin types on it. Pretty easy. But I didn't do that until I needed to do that. So you got to push yourself to allow yourself for things to get a little bit out of control and a little bit nuts. And then when you create the system, it gets even tighter than it was before. And so in order to get things tight, in order to know how to make things streamlined and function properly, you got to go to chaos first. If you're trying to get the system down before the chaos, it generally won't work, because you don't even know what you need. You don't even know the things that will trip you up. You don't even know the things that you'll forget or let slip through the cracks until you do it. So I know that's a tough one, especially people like me that just like things the way they like them. That one's a hard one, but trust me, it always works. So how do you deal with distractions? That's our topic for today. Identify them is huge. Inserting them into non-peak energy time, planning your reactive versus proactive time, turning off your notifications, just having a structure to your intentional time. It can be as structured as you want. If you're 100 on that scale, structure the heck out of it. If you're a 2, like me, you can give yourself little boxes and little parameters to work things in. Okay. Hope this was helpful for you guys today. I love your goals here, and I love time to get uncomfortable. Christine, a 10 show week. One of these days, we'll talk about my first ever 10 party week. And it was a gazillion years ago. It changed everything. And it taught me so much about my business and about people and about goals and about just, it was so fun. And it was absolute chaos. It was so crazy. My biggest thing I've ever done people wise is I did 100 faces in 2 weeks. And because I wanted to hit my first 500,000. And so anytime you want to do something big, guys, it requires a lot of a momentum, which is a lot of activity in a short amount of time. So put that on in your list. 100 new skincare customers. Oh, Sally, wouldn't that be so pretty? That would be so pretty. I would just love it. I love skincare customers because I know I can change their life. When you change their face, you change their confidence, and that changes their life. And oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. Thank you guys for joining me. Next week, we will talk about emotional burnout. Doesn't that sound fun? It's not fun when it happens, but it is fun to stop it from happening. See you next week, everybody. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you comment, and make sure you share me with others. Bye.